Ratana Tayasa, may I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening once again. This is Tuesday 21st April 2020. This is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So once again, as usual, at 6:30, I'm here with you, sharing some of the insight as well as helping you and to befriend with you at your home. I'm very glad to hear that a number of members are following and using some of the guidance to deal with this difficult situation. We live in a farm, so pretty much the weather is so beautiful and we're busy. And today Ajahn Pira also caught a small mice inside this temple too. Actually, we have a few mice running around under our beds and under these ceilings. So today, Ajahn Pira managed to catch one mice and will be releasing a little further down in the field. And this morning, I also made a hotel for the bugs in our field. Yeah, so like that. So I hope you also enjoyed your day with the different tasks and different plans, and hope you managed to enjoy and relax the day during this time. This morning, as I was walking around in the field and doing a meditation, my attention went to the daffodils and brought memories of a daffodil. That daffodil blossoms only for a month, and after that it just settles beneath the earth as though the daffodil doesn't exist. So it vanishes under the earth for 7 to 8 months. And then when the condition comes together, condition matured, weather matured, then daffodil again blossoms. So as long as the seed of the daffodil remains under the earth, it will come back again and again every year and give a blossoming, beautiful daffodils during the springtime. And I reflected this with this situation that we are in, that we have to keep ourselves alone or isolating at home and having a social distance, and constantly reminding of washing hands, keeping a distance, and so and so. And what struck me is that daffodil can stay for 7 to 8 months, and later on it blossoms, and it stays so quietly. Whereas we, in a way, only a month or so, maybe a couple of weeks, and we struggle so hard. And we feel frustrated, irritated. And in the meantime, with that irritations, other diseases or other illnesses follows too. When I look at the disease, I come to know that in Buddhism, Buddha divided disease into two parts. One is physical and mental. In terms of a physical disease, the first one is the hunger that we have to think of. And obviously, because of the companies closed down and no work to do, and gradually this will follow, the consequences will be the hunger. And I already heard a few stories from Asian country that some of them have committed suicide because of the hunger and not able to go and ask for the food, ask for the help. And this is one of the diseases that physically we face. And the rest of other diseases that we face in our day-to-day life, sometimes it's because of the weather change, sometimes it's because of food that we eat, and sometimes simply because of the elements changes in us. Like every year I've been observing myself that every spring when there is heat waves, I always get a heavy head and feel headache, and I need a lot of fluids to drink and a little bit more rests. Initially I thought that was some form of a headache or a stress, but I've been taking this data, and every year I've been trying to be mindful of what time and which situation I normally get this headache. And I realized that this is simply because the weather change. So these physical illnesses will end as we end this journey in this lifetime. And also, physical pain or diseases and sicknesses we can bear for certain years and certain days or weeks, and sometimes until our death. The physical pain is there. But whereas this physical pain, again, having a good care and also having a good medication, looking after, and having a good therapies and so, this physical illness can be cured. Whereas the mental illness, which is very, very difficult to cure, and it remains not only, according to the Buddhism, that torture us, cause the trouble for us in this life, but also it carries to the further other lives too, next coming lives too. So that's why Buddha emphasized more on curing or dealing with this mental sufferings, as in a great deal of it. That's where all the meditation comes in, to understand this disease and ability to get away with it. Because according to the Buddhism, we believe that only once we have eradicated all the taints, then we will be able to free our mental disease or mental sickness. But until then, it's inevitable that we all will face with the mental sufferings. But having said that, again, practice of a meditation, an ability to observe and aware of anything that's taking place and everything that's what's happening, simply we're developing this immunity or immune system within our mind, subconsciously, an ability to deal with this situation. because we will be developing this understanding that doesn't matter what it is, it's going to change. Nothing remains the same. It's going to change. And changing nature is this that helps us to release everything going to be changed. But the very moment when we unable to accept the change or unable to see that change, perceive that change, then that causes the trouble. So practice of a meditation, if we continue being observed, our own mind, and then observing anything that's taking place or happening, and gradually we see these changes, not only the outside but also within. And this changing, again, it's very important to realize it, that this change takes place simply because everything interdependent. Nothing that arisen alone. When you look at the Buddhist scripture, again, this disease, the main root cause of a disease that arises, Buddha said that number one is unethical living, and number two, humans are influencing, or humans are slaughtering or invading the animal realms. And unethical living, which we can see nowadays, is grown up a lot. And that's why so many concerns being aroused and discussion going on. And among the UN Sustainable Development Agenda for 2030, one of the agendas is moral development and sustainable development. And that also comes under this, that how unethically this era we are living, and how much we've been using this so-called resources, natural resources. And with that, nature itself will try to bring the balance in the nature. And that is one of the causes that the different types of diseases will come and affect the human life. And a second, I think it's been a rumor, or maybe the fact, that this corona was developed from an animal or a bird, kind of a bird, the bats. And obviously this is again in China or in most of the Asian country, they eat different types of insects and animals. And the tradition of eating these things, not because they want to eat it at the first place. It was because of the famine, or it was because of the hunger, it was because of the lack of food. They have developed this habit of adjusting and ability to maintain their life by eating anything. And as a human, we are very good at adapting and good at adjusting in different situations. Simply, there is a survival instinct. And we humans are very good at this survival instinct. We use every means to be survived in different difficult situations. And that was the reason why in Asian countries began eating these insects and bats and different animals. But now again, this famine is already over. But yet, the tradition of eating continued. And as the continuation of this invasion, this animal world, and that causes different types of diseases that invades human nature, human being. So that's why when we look at that, the first thing and first what we need to understand that unethical living and how it affects and invading the animal world. And in terms of living an unethical life, or this I think I have spoken on the first day of what Buddhism has to offer, that if the lockdown continues for another couple of weeks or a month and unable to ramp up or coming back to the normality of all this political and economical situation, then again this hunger will develop. And with that, unethical activities will increase too. So that's why, in order to prevent that unethical activities, what I have been suggesting is to practice 5 precepts. The very moment when we practice 5 precepts, we will be safeguarding ourselves and then safeguarding others too. So we will be practicing ethically, and with that we will not be invading any other race or ethnic groups. Or having said that, again, although I have referred saying that the Chinese and then Asian countries eat these insects and things, again, we shouldn't be developing this prejudice or hate towards any one group or another. We are in a chain. We are in this so-called nectar that I have told already about the social network theory, that how much we are connected in this nectar of this globalization. So that's why we would not or should not be defining boundaries from one another. So tonight, simply, I just wanted to give you this thing that if when we are living unethically, these diseases or certain form of diseases will increase, and that will affect human behavior, human nature, human society. And the nature is such that when human will invade too much, the nature will look after and take care of it itself. And that's simply because it needs to be balanced in the nature. Okay? So I offer this as a reflection for tonight, and I would like to read one comment and I will try to answer, elaborate. The first message was from a lady who I met this family a couple of years ago due to the cancer, and then later on I managed to help through the meditation, and with that she managed to develop some form of meditation. But after she didn't continue practice of a meditation, she went on to the depression again. And because of that depression, she took a refuge on so-called substances that clouds the mind, or alcohol. So excessively drinking alcohol caused big trouble, and which has caused not only herself in trouble but also the family. So the message is simply saying that the guided meditation that I've been posting every night and the talk are soundly helping, and thanking for these posts. So, and I also hope that she will come back to meditation and regain her the strength to fight with this depression and get better. So that's why this is again a reflection that we should not give up continuation of the practice in order to get the benefit best out of it. So continue practicing even though small bit of it. Yeah? Maybe let's say 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. Continue practicing. Spare some time and do it. Whereas now I'm offering you a time, half an hour, half seven every night. So you can leave every responsibilities, every jobs, and then it's your time. Just come and practice together. And I'm pretty sure that it will help you to regain in this difficult situation, this difficult circumstances, an ability to understand these frustrations, depression, stress, and finding good holiday at home. Yeah? So continue practicing. And a second, this is from David. He posted last night on the post, but not managed to reply. It's saying that I asked in my message last night about dispassionate and indifference because the more I practice, the more dispassionate I feel I'm becoming. Not lacking compassion, I hope, but just not getting over attached to anything. Material and sense things I have thought I would never let go in my life, I have become more dispassionate about, I think. And I know it's coming from inside and is not disinterest. But I do wonder if sometimes others, friends, family, etc., may see this as ego displaying an egoistic disinterest. How do we avoid this appearance of disinterest while developing our genuine dispassion? This is a really big topic, right? It's about the dispassion and indifference. So dispassion is viraga and indifference is upekha. Now, viraga is something that we have to develop through right understanding. Yeah? And viraga alone doesn't work. Yeah? We have to have different branches, like a tree. Yeah? A tree has to have different branches, and along with those branches it has got so many leaves, and with those branches and leaves it is providing nutritions to keep the bark healthy and also feeding. And as this grows, becomes stronger, then it's become one who is giving a shade to the other small trees or a grass or other bushes. When this tree grows, it won't say that I am better and you are not, but it's simply there enjoying, and along with the branches and this. So it's interconnectedness. And in order to soften this understanding, this dispassion, and dispassion, there are two dispassions here. One worldly dispassion, that's simply knowing and having a knowledge of certain things and intellectually understanding that this is working, that it makes sense. And if we have this sort of understanding and knowledge, and there is more tend to display kind of this ego-ness. But if we have the real understanding of this passion, then that this passion is understanding the anicca, or the nature of change, an ability to understand that this body and mind is subject to change, subject to decay, it's not belongs to me, and one day it's going to fade away. And with that, it generates this passion of not entertaining, but again not neglecting either. As you said, it's not a non-interest, but there is an interest. So in order to soften this, maybe this is the first one, the first category, simply we have to develop this, the moral values, moral practice, and understanding the capability of other people, so understanding and their knowledge, because every one of us are different, and as we practice that, then people may see in different ways. So whenever we are in this feeling, first, whatever you say, whatever you do, think again and again, ponder again and again, and then react to it. But in the meantime, if somebody says that you is displaying, then again you need to aware the connections and how you need to develop the branches to soften yourself. So then you will be sheltering other people in it too. So like that. And indifference, again, it will just come in its own time. If you push to say, I don't want this, I don't want like that, I will not be like this and that, then again you're displaying ego. But if you are practicing and aware of everything what you do, and gradually you will be in that form. And with this, what happens is your mind automatically generating this compassion and kindness. And this compassion and kindness, you will see the suffering in others. You will also able to notice what they know, what they understood. Again, it's their ability to understand in that level. And we respect that level and seeing the value of it. And we again come back to watch and develop all our actions. So I hope this is the second, I hope this helps you to get the clarity on it. If not, then again we will further. I will further talk on one of the nights only on this topic. And also, as there was a request for the loving kindness meditation in this situation, so we have another 2 minutes. I would like to introduce this meditation and this following this guided meditation in half 7. So I would like to invite you to join as well, which I will introduce the meditation on loving kindness every day too. Okay. So with this, may you be happy, healthy, successful, and keep well. Stay safe and continue practicing. If you are not continuing to listen the chanting and then listen the chanting, which is coming in a few minutes, you can come back at half 7, or you can continue listening until the guided meditation. So during this chanting time, sometimes there will not be the same chanting, or you may feel confused. Then rather than chanting along with us, you may do the chanting in your heart, listening from your heart, and then wait for the guided meditation. So with this, may you be happy, peaceful, and if you are not continuing, good night and have a good day.